Welcome to Charter's Local Edition. My name is Mark Staples. I'm the host of this continuing series of interviews with state governmental and legislative leaders. And our guest this afternoon on the third day of the 2015 legislature is the House Minority Leader, Representative Jenny Eck from Helena. Jenny, welcome.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for coming. That's pretty quick ascension. It's only your second term, and you're already the minority whip.
The minority whip, yes, not the leader yet, but
minority whip. And the whip does what?
Well, the traditional way to talk about it is whipping votes, checking in with the caucus and seeing where everybody is, but I see it as being a lot more than that. As you know, with term limits, things have changed up here. We have a lot of freshmen who are coming in who really don't know which way's up, and that they need a lot of help in learning how to introduce bills in committee, how to speak on the floor, just how things work up here. There's a lot of training to do, and so really for me it's about checking in with members of the caucus, meeting their needs, seeing where they're at, making sure that their needs are being met and that they have the support that they need to be successful.
So you're in leadership.
Yeah.
But you're also still the representative from Helena.
That's right.
So you have to blend your statewide perspective with your constituent perspective. Tell me one issue upon which they blend the best. Your role as the whip, but also delivering for your community.
Well, actually it overlaps really nicely for me because I represent the west side of Helena. So my constituents understand state government, many of them work in state government, and so they understand firsthand how important it is that we be able to work together up here to get things done. And so I actually feel like it dovetails perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah. What about the bills you're sponsoring? You have a few?
I have a lot more than I plan to carry, but I think that just kind of comes with the more terms you serve, the more people ask you to carry. But I've got some ones I'm excited about, one of which is to address the restaurant beer and wine license quota system, to try to repeal the regulations that we have on quotas to make sure that anyone who wants to open a restaurant and be able to be successful can access the license without having too much of a cost to that. So I think that's an important small business bill. I also have one that looks at providing points to people who turn in poachers, points towards a big game tag. So rather than just being offered money, folks could earn themselves a few extra points towards a big game tag if they turn in a poacher. So I'm excited about that one. And I've also got one I'm carrying that looks at the Board of Pardons and Parole and tries to create more transparency by having their meetings videotaped and broadcast over the internet, which I think is a good one too.
Are you expecting any opposition to that?
I think we worked on it through the interim, and so I think it has a lot of support. It's kind of a good compromise bill, and I think it's important to have that accountability there.
Yeah. You're going to be in these leadership meetings and the negotiation sessions with the governor and the Republican majorities. These aren't very long interviews, so I'm going to whip through these.
Sure.
And you just tell me how you're handicapping Medicaid expansion.
How am I what with Medicaid?
Handicapping. Your chances of either negotiating or getting what your party would like.
I really believe that a majority of the House floor does support Medicaid expansion, that we really want to make sure that the 70,000 people who could be covered are covered. I think the governor has a great plan for Healthy Montana. It's an extension of what we've always done with covering kids. It's now making sure that working adults can get that too. And so I think it's a great plan, and I think that there's the will to get it done. I am optimistic.
How about preschool?
Early childhood
education.
Again, I think anyone who's had small kids and knows what it costs to send a kid to preschool or to childcare knows what a drain that is on a family's budget. I think to free up that money to provide good education for those kids and to make that money available to spend in Main Street, Montana is a great economic plan, and it'll be good for our kids to compete nationally in the long run as they get a great education and go on to get good jobs.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, that's another one. The governor's plan is a good compromise. It's half bonding and half cash, and it'll provide for roads, bridges, educational centers, and tourism corridors throughout Montana, which will be a good thing for our economy. It'll also address infrastructure issues in eastern Montana. So I think it's another one that we can agree on and find common ground on, and that'll be good for the people of the state.
You're one of the handful of legislators lucky Helena ones who gets to go home at night.
It's true. And it makes all the difference.
I think it does.
I love it.
But nevertheless, you still got to be here. You still got to do the work. And now that you're in leadership, you just have a lot longer hours than you did last year.
It's true.
At the end of 90 days,
yeah.
at the end of 90 days, when it's over, what do you hope to have accomplished?
I really hope that we will have provided health care for 70,000 Montanans. I want to improve our access to mental health care in our communities. And I also want to make sure that we're creating jobs across the state, and that I think that's something we can do in a multitude of ways. And also take care of the student debt issues that are facing our students who are graduating from our public universities. So those are big things, but I think it's doable, and I think the people of Montana deserve it.
Well, you certainly have the energy for it, and I wish you luck in your new job and with your agenda and your bills, and have a great session.
Thanks for the time. I appreciate it, Mark.
Likewise. Thank you for tuning in.